In this video, we're showing you guys how we took a store from $0 to $100,000 in only 16 days. All right, what's going on, guys? Casper with you guys with a brand new video, and today's video what I'm going over is the case study of a store that me and Gage took from $0 to $100,000 in only 16 days with Facebook ads. All right, guys, before we get into the video, I'm gonna have Gage introduce himself because he's never actually been on the channel.
My name is Gage, and like Casper said, I run multiple online e-commerce stores like him, and I also run a very big sourcing agency where I give people access to cheaper prices and faster shipping times.
And we're gonna be going over his sourcing agency and how it actually helped us scale this store later on in this video. So as you guys can see, the store has generated $104,000 in revenue from January 13th to January 29th. The largest day was $12,658, and that was actually 2 days ago, or 3 days ago now. So I'm gonna go ahead and refresh the screen. You guys can see that this is real. But yeah, this store has generated $104,000 in just about literally 16 days. So this is the overall ad account for the entire store. As you can see, it spent $29,000 and it's made $102,000 back. So I'm refreshing the screen right now. You guys can see that the results are legitimate, and I'll even change the date range as well. So the 6th to the 13th, and then from the 13th to the 29th, as you guys can see, the results are real. So essentially, again, $29,000 spent for the entire last 16 days to make back $102,000, which is pretty good. So guys, this store has been running for about 2-3 months before we actually came in and scaled it like this. The problem was that it actually had a low customer feedback score on Facebook. Now, if you guys are familiar with Facebook advertising at all, if your customer feedback score goes under a certain score, then you pretty much have Facebook penalizing you by showing your ads to less people, even though you're spending the same amount of money. From the 13th to the 29th, we came back and actually got the score back up. We actually had Facebook review the page, and they actually said it was good to go. So we've been working on, raising the customer feedback score, but also scaling the store at the same time.
So for this store specifically, this was a store that was a single product store. We didn't have multiple products on this store. We didn't necessarily have any upsells and cross sales like that. With this store, we did have one product that we found that was very unique, that we basically took and built a very strong and solid brand around it. Also with this product, we found something that had margins that weren't very slim. We try to stay away from things that, were profiting, $20 per sale or $30. Like, those are solid margins, but with this, we went above and beyond, and we found something where we're profiting over $100 per sale. Another thing with this store is we found something that nobody has tested before. And we realized, okay, this has a market, nobody's selling it, so we can come in and push it ourselves.
So now for the actual structure of the advertisement of this store, the one advertisement that we actually used this entire, 2 weeks that we've been scaling, we actually found the clip from an AliExpress supplier. Now, the reason why this ad was so explosive was because within the first 5 seconds, you could easily tell what the product was, what problem it was solving, and who it was for. Also, the video had a really good thumbnail, which is super essential because essentially what you are looking for is something like this store had, which was a scroll stopper thumbnail. Essentially, a scroll stopper, what it is when somebody is just scrolling down their feed, right? Because you're advertising on social media like Facebook and Instagram, it makes them stop because the thumbnail is so interesting. So that is also something that attributed to the success and the explosion over the scaling period that we've been going through. It's super important to have a scroll stopper thumbnail, just because if you don't have something that is a scroll stopper, people honestly just won't click on it. It's not interesting enough. So that's why you always want to make sure that you have a thumbnail and a video or any creative. You just want to make sure that is interesting and it makes people to stop scrolling. Also, something that we've been doing for a good amount of time is actually take a different route for the copy. So the actual description of the ad, for this store specifically, what we did was we went in and we kind of structured it as a brand. We didn't really aggressively sell the product in the actual text of the ad, where most dropshippers are like 60% off sale, buy now, buy for free, whatever. So we actually went in and literally just stated the product, what it was, the problem it solved, and That's it. It was 2 lines. It's super simple. It gets straight to the point, and it's congruent with the actual video creative that is being shown to the people who are seeing our ad, which actually helps us a lot because they see the video, they read the description, and they're most likely going to be interested at that point. So they're going to go ahead and click on the ad at that point. Overall, you want your ad to be super interesting. You want it to be a scroll stopper. And if you guys can make your own videos, if not, there's a bunch of great services out there. I'll leave a couple of them in the description down below. So the initial prospection campaign that we launched for this store had 2 goals essentially, right? The first goal was so we can build some data to use in our lookalike audiences later on down the road where we wanted to go ahead and scale, but also we wanted to go ahead and find some ad sets that are winner ad sets with above a 3 or 4 ROAS that we could put into CBO campaigns later on down the road when we started to scale. So in the first campaign, we started off with 20 ad sets, and each ad set was at a $10 a day budget. So now each ad set was identical to the next one, except for one thing in the ad set, which was the detail targeting interest. The ad sets all were going for a purchase conversion. They were all targeting worldwide, excluding some countries like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India, Indonesia. The age we left broad as well. We left it from 18 to 65, and we targeted all genders. Now, the reason for this is specifically because we want to hit, again, like Gage said earlier, a broader audience when we're testing, these ad sets. Each ad set had one interest, and not one ad set had the same interest as the next one. The reason that we did this was so we can see which interest was the strongest, again, because each ad set only had one interest. And if we were to go ahead and actually stack those interests under one ad set, we wouldn't know which interest brought us to sale, which would really greatly affect us when we wanted to go ahead and scale. For this campaign specifically and this product, since it had such a high margin, we turned the ads off at $20 if there wasn't an add to cart on that ad set, and we turned the ad sets off if they had $60 and no purchase. And again, that is the reason why having a high margin is so great. You have so much flexibility. You could pay more for a customer, and Facebook always likes it when you can pay more for something. So this is the Facebook Ads Manager. Now, as you guys can see, there are a bunch of campaigns here. As I said, this store was being ran earlier last year, but since we came back, I've put the time period from the 13th to the 19th so you guys can see exactly what we were doing. So I'm going to start from the 13th to the 20th, so the first week that these ads were live. I'm going to break down, first of all, our cold interest campaigns that we started off with. So this was the first campaign that we launched for the initial prospection campaign. As you guys can see, we launched about 75 ad sets in the entire campaign. As you guys can see, the first week of the prospection campaign with the cold targeting interest spent about $3,531, and it brought back $11,172. Now, this specific ad account is actually under tracking the purchases by a couple of $1,000s, so it's probably a little bit more than that, but that is the numbers from the first week. So the second week of the prospection campaign, we actually started to add a lot more ad sets into it, and that's why the spend actually doubled. We were increasing a lot more budgets because we were trying to aggressively scale to actually get more data, which you guys will see in the retargeting and the lookalikes. It actually paid off a lot. So actually it pretty much broke even, but we got a lot of data from this and we're able to build a lot more audiences. And again, this is from the 20th to essentially today for that initial prospection campaign. Now we had another campaign as well with some more cold interests that were already on the ad account when we came in from the previous months that it was being ran. But from that point, essentially what we did was it was at about $1,235, and it came back to $5,800 by the end of the first week that we launched these ads. And from the 20th to the 29th, which is today, it actually spent $1,500 and it brought back $3,000. We actually cut a lot from this, and there's only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left in this entire campaign. But those were the two cold targeting campaigns that we started off with.
We found that there was a pattern starting to happen with these interests. So every 10 ad sets that we would test, ad sets, I mean interests, we would find that one interest would work out of the 10.
And it averaged, it wasn't always one, sometimes it was 2, sometimes it was 3, but we had about a 10 to 25% success rate with every ad set that we launched in the cold interest campaign. So we added 10 to 20 new ad sets every couple of days if it was doing well. wanted to hop on here and kind of address something that a lot of people have been asking me. I'm getting a lot of questions about people asking about a course or something like that, or if I could teach them, exactly how I'm doing, all these stores and my exact strategy of how I do everything. And I only have one sort of program right now like that where you can actually learn from me one-on-one, and it's my one-on-one mentorship program. Quickly, what it is just me literally guiding you A to Z, how to start your own dropshipping store, how to find products for it, how to advertise it on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, how to scale, how to optimize, how to manage everything. The problem is most people get into dropshipping, they don't actually have any sort of guide. They're just going at it blindly. So they're wasting a bunch of money and a bunch of time. And that's actually what I did. It took me about 1.5 years to see my first successful store. And I mean successful, profitable store. So that's kind of the reason why I made the mentorship program, so I could help you guys who are beginners or people who are just stuck at certain spots in their dropshipping kind of journey. So if you guys do have some money to invest and you're serious about learning dropshipping and you want to learn from me one-on-one, then go ahead and click the link in the description down below. Go ahead and submit your application. It does take a day or two for me to get back to you. And if you actually do apply and get accepted within the next 2 or 3 days, then you actually can get into the program for 30% off.
The main way we scaled this store was with Lookalike Audiences and CBO campaigns, and also horizontally scaling the ad sets that were working. So what exactly a Lookalike audience is basically when you get purchases, when you get add to carts, view content, video views, all these different things, it builds up data on your pixel, and Facebook basically takes all those people and events and things like that and finds more people just like the people doing those things.
Now, a cool thing that Facebook added earlier last year is something called a value-based lookalike audience. So essentially we took the customer list from the store and essentially instead of just giving the names and the emails and the phone numbers to Facebook to find more people, we did that along with how much each customer has spent. Now, when you give that sort of data to Facebook, it's a lot stronger data, right? Because it's going to now go ahead and find people who are like those people, but also people who are like those people with the same purchasing patterns. Just makes it super, super strong. Now, for the website event lookalikes, like Gage said, the pixel on the website, which is just a cookie, it tracks pretty much everything that happens on the website. We created a bunch of custom audiences for view content, add to cart, initiate checkout, purchase, every event on our website that people were doing. And essentially we gave this data to Facebook and said, hey, look, find us more people who look like this, in this percentage of this, certain country. And since we're getting so much traffic and so much engagement on all of our business pages on Facebook and Instagram, this was super easily done. So getting into the scaling of the lookalikes, what we did was, as I said, we created a bunch of custom audiences based off of our website events, as well as the engagement that we were getting on our posts. We also uploaded the customer list as well and provided Facebook with the customers' information that we had already collected to create more lookalike audiences from that. So at the top, the first audience that is selected is an initiate checkout custom audience based off of the website events that we have installed with our pixel. So this one specifically was made for 90 days of everybody who completed an initiate checkout on the website. When they
I don't know.
Yo, did we not create any fucking Yo, this is about to be a good day then.
Wait, what?
No way, bro. No way. As you guys can see on my screen right here, for example, the first selected audience at the bottom right there is a custom audience that we uploaded from the actual engagement that we had in the video views on the actual advertisement that we were running. So essentially we told Facebook, hey, take all the people who watched at least 3 seconds of this video within the last 180 days. We created a custom audience based off of those people. And then as you guys can see in the second audience selected above it, to the top of the screen, it says lookalike US 2%, video view 3 seconds, 180 days. So that is essentially a lookalike audience. So Facebook is taking the people from the first selected audience that we created, and it's finding more people who look like those people that we gave them in 2% of the United States population. So essentially that is what we did obviously within a larger scale. So we made about 30 to 40 custom audiences to begin with, and we essentially created lookalikes for 0 to 2%, 2 to 4%, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, and then we created big ones as well. We also had some custom audiences as well created for website events as well that people created on our website. So for example, people who purchased within the last 2 days, as well as add to carts within the last 7 days. So we essentially broke down between all of the day periods that we do use. And for every website event, for every engagement event that we could get, and just created a bunch of lookalike audiences. So within the first week, from the 13th to the 20th, the lookalike audiences, we launched about 68 ad sets, and there was about $2,100 spent to come back to $7,400, essentially with a 3.5 ROAS, which is super good. But after that, as you guys can see, we were starting to scale some of the budgets. So this one was at $120 a day. This one's at $160. This one's at $80. So we were raising all the budgets that we saw that were actually working. So we just raised the budgets again, like we were talking about earlier, on the ad sets that we saw that were working. The second week is when we really started to scale the lookalikes. So we spent pretty much double. We spent $9,500 and got back $31,000 just from lookalike campaigns. So as you guys can see, the majority of the money that was generated with the lookalike audiences actually came from the last 9 days. So from the 20th to 29th, as I just showed you guys, from the 20th to the 29th, it generated $31,000. And then the week before that, it generated only like $3,500. So as you guys can see, the more data that you guys have, literally the better it is, because you're giving Facebook this data, and Facebook spends millions of dollars on, literally millions, probably billions of dollars on data scientists every year. So they have really strong data. If you give them really relevant data and really good data essentially for a good product, they will treat you well. They will give you more customers, they will give you more purchases, whatever it is you're going for, they will help you, because Facebook only makes money when you spend it with them. So we also scale with CBOs. Now CBOs are just regular, Facebook conversion campaigns that we were running, except now instead of allocating the budget for each ad set, we were allocating all of the ad sets under the campaign's budget.
Shut the fuck up.
So what we did with those, nice.
CBOs, right? Yo,
Seth.
Can you please turn that off?
So with those CBO campaigns, what we did was, after the first essential,
That was rough.
what we did was with these CBO campaigns was we took the top ad sets from our initial prospection campaign of those cold targeting interests and put them into a CBO campaign at about $100 a day. And as long as there was consistent performance, we would scale up the budget of those CBO campaigns every 3 days. So with the CBOs, we actually only launched them about 2 or 3 days until the end of the first week. So we launched them about on the 18th. So I'm just going to show you guys from the 18th to the 29th what the CBOs have done since then. So the only CBO that we did launch was CBO number 1 at about, it was at $100 a day. We've been raising it obviously. So it spent $1,300 and brought us back $4,100, which isn't bad at all. And the ad sets in these CBOs are just the top interests that were working at the time. So we actually haven't even been able to introduce some of the new interests that are popping off for us, but we have been starting to use CBOs a lot more. And we're planning on using them a lot more as well later on when we start scaling this store later next month.
Another way we were scaling was horizontally scaling the ad sets that were working. And how we were doing that was scaling the budgets by 2 to 3x depending on how they were doing every 48 hours. Once we did scale those things, we also had a period that we would consider a revive period. So once we scaled those budgets up, if they did bad after that point, we would cut those ad sets back down and let them run for an additional 48 hours and see how they do, to let them revive and maybe come back
And bring the sales from that initial scale, because we don't want to, just kill an ad set just because it had a couple of bad days. We want to give it a chance to come back and actually, perform good again. So all of the ad sets in the cold interest campaigns, we were actually, raising some of them, obviously dropping the ones that weren't working. So this one right here, as you guys can see, it's at about $60 a day. So it spent about $447 and it's made about $1,600. So, at the time, whatever the period was, I don't know for that specific ad set, but we essentially raised it from the initial $10 launch, the launch budget that we start at, and we took it to $60 because we saw that consistent performance. And that's just an example of how we were scaling horizontally with these cold interest ad sets. I'm not saying we just raised it from 10 to $60. We went from 10 to 30 to then 60 once we saw that performance coming in.
Another thing we have been doing other than the CBOs for scaling these ad sets is breaking down these cold interests that have been working and finding the main points that, all the sales are coming from. And what I mean by that is looking at, the age ranges for example, noticing that age range is 30 to 45, or all the sales are coming from there, or, male and female breakdowns. You can do, placements and different things like that. So we're pinpointing and focusing on those main things that are working and generating all the sales.
So after about a week and a half, 2 weeks, we started to introduce some retargeting campaigns. Now, retargeting is just what it sounds like. So people who came to our website, saw our ad, and essentially anybody who didn't purchase our product, we were retargeting them with an advertisement to come back to our site with a certain incentive. So for this store specifically, it was come back to the website and purchase the item at $30 off. Basically created an audience for essentially everything that we could. So every sort of engagement on our ad that people, say somebody liked the post, somebody saved the post, somebody saw the post, somebody interacted, somebody sent us a message. We did that for both the Facebook page and the Instagram page, and also all of the website actions except for a purchase as well. So essentially people who came to our site, say they visited it, added to cart, but they didn't purchase an item. And also what we did was we broke down specific dates, because in Facebook, you can essentially tell Facebook what you want. So we'll say like, okay, we want you to build a custom audience for us based off people who saw our ad within the last 7 days, the last 2 days, the last 14 days. We didn't even go in full scale into this because honestly, like at this point, it has only been literally 2 weeks. We haven't even had enough time to break down by time spent. There's so much stuff that we haven't done. We're literally just explaining to you guys the base scaling that we have done right now. We'll probably make an updated video in like a month or two once this has hit like over 500K. But remember guys, for retargeting, the main thing to take away from this is that you want to incentivize customers to come back to your site, because with retargeting, and you'll see when we get into the ad account, the ROAS is super high because these people are familiar with your brand. So you don't want to just serve them the same sort of ad that they essentially ignored and didn't purchase from. You want to serve them some sort of advertisement that has an incentive for them to come back into the site and purchase your item. Hence why we did the $30 off sort of creative for this retargeting campaign. So within the first week, from the 13th to the 20th, it spent $369 with about 2,300 back at about a 6 ROAS, which is super good. And the second week is when it really exploded. So from the 20th to the 29th, it spent essentially $4,900 and brought us back $29,000 at, again, a 6 ROAS. So you guys can see how explosive retargeting is if you actually offer an incentive for people to come back, right? You're not just sending them the same ad, boring them. You're offering something new, something to incentivize them to come back into your website. And as you guys can see, we've been scaling up the ad set budgets as well for these. So these are going super good right now, and there's really nothing we can complain about.
And the main reason why this works so good is because we did come in with a good offer, especially with a product like this that is super high ticket. Saving, $30 on a product that is almost $200.
Yeah.
People are of course gonna, impulsively buy it.
Yeah.
Saying like, why not? Why would I not buy this?
No, definitely. And that's the thing too, like most people like this product because it is a good product. It solves a really big problem for them. It improves their self-image. It's an overall good product. People want it. It's just the price point usually is what people can't, really get over, because not everybody has $200 to just spend like that. So offering that, $30, $20, maybe even $15 to get them back into the website works really well. And if you are willing to eat that cost up front, to take that $30 loss on essentially every purchase, you're building more data to create more audiences to essentially scale harder.
The main reason why this was so easy to automate and fulfill all these orders was because it was one single product. We didn't have a bunch of different upsells and cross sales and things like that, making all the orders confusing. And another reason why it was also super easy is because we use my company, Dropship Agent Co.
The plug.
So what my company does is we help automate fulfillment and make everything easier on your end. So what we did with this store specifically, and what I do with all my client stores, is we come in and add our app to your store. With this app, what it does is basically automates your fulfillment by exporting the orders every single night and sending it directly to our suppliers. The benefit of doing that is we also give you access to faster shipping times, which satisfies your customers in the long run. Also, with us, we give you access to cheaper prices because we're giving you direct access to the manufacturers. So for this product specifically, the product was upwards to $120 to $130, and we got it down all the way below $100.
Yeah, it's about $95.
So just right there, we're saving this store specifically over $20 per unit, which is a lot of money to save
If you're getting 50 orders a day, you guys can do the math. We're saving about $1,000 a day. And at this point, we're doing well over $10,000 a day. Without his sourcing agency, we literally would be losing probably $30, $40, $50,000 a month just from, you know, product cost. So that is why it's super important to have a sourcing agency behind you guys. Once you are doing, you know, more than 20 orders a day, come in, go to Dropship Agent Co. I'll leave his link in the description down below. If you guys are doing over 20 orders a day, go ahead and hit him up, because again, it does help a lot to have faster shipping times. Again, your customers will be more satisfied, as well as you save some more money.
To bring it all the way back to how we mentioned this was a single product store, another way we leverage this brand by using my agency is we gave the clients in this store specifically access to custom packaging. So when, you know, your customers receive the products, they're getting a box or whatever it is with, you know, your logo on it, nice instructions, and everything just looks legit and real.
It looks branded, and that gives you the higher perceived value of your brand, which gets people to come back and purchase more items from you. And again, when Facebook sends them those, you know, reviews and those surveys once they've purchased your product, they actually want to leave a good review. And that is actually the main reason why this store had to essentially come back. That's actually why this store came back and has a higher customer feedback score now, because we focused on actually branding the product, branding it, and looking into the actual customer, you know, satisfaction process of the entire thing, as well as he also had his company make sure that each product before it was sent out was quality checked more than once to ensure that the products that were being sent out were actually good quality items, right? They weren't just, you know, really bad qualities, the plugs don't even work, stuff like that. Because again, these products are $200, right? We don't want a bunch of chargebacks, and also we don't want to mess up people, right? We don't want to fuck people over. We don't want people to, you know, be pissed that they spent $200 and they got a broken item. You know, it is just a lot more beneficial to have a sourcing agent, because they can check all that stuff for you, get you cheaper prices, and get you that faster shipping time, which again, with this store helped us a super amount. So guys, now for the profit calculation of this store, the revenue was at $104,000 or $104,297. The total product cost, which as I said was about $95 per unit because of Gage, was about $51,680, and the total advertising cost was $28,978.94. A couple of the other costs, you know, with the VAs and everything else, with all the fees, was about $1,650. And the total profit for the last 16 days of this store is $21,987. So guys, I want to give you a calculation of if we actually didn't use Gage's sourcing agency, you know, what would have happened, you know, with our profit margin, right? Because we were getting the units for $95 with him, and before we were getting them for about $120. So over that 16-day period, we had 558 orders. So 558 times $120. It means that we would have spent $66,960 on product cost. But since Gage was able to help us, we were actually able to lower that to $51,680. So essentially, we saved ourselves about $15,000 just by using his sourcing agency. And again, that's not just because he's here and he's my friend. I'm literally saying this, it's true. If you guys have a store doing good, you want to get a custom sourcing agent, because you literally can save thousands of dollars every month if you are scaling a store like this. So guys, that is it for the video. We hope you guys did enjoy this quick little case study that we just went over. Again, this store is doing really good right now, so we're going to continue scaling this. So if you guys want to see another video, maybe an update video in like a month or two, that'd be actually kind of cool. I'd be down to do that. So if you guys are interested, let us know in the comments down below, or just shoot me a DM on Instagram. Make sure to go ahead and check out Gage's sourcing agency. It'll be the first link in the description down below. It says dropshipagent.co, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. So dropshipagent.co. But yeah, that's it. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. Links will be in the description down below. And yep, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. This guy.